Hi YouTube, please give me a moment while I connect to Facebook. We will be getting started shortly. And I think we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody. Welcome to the Strategic Swing Trader Weekly Broadcast. I'm Sami Abasad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope your weekend is off to a good start. In this video, we're going to talk about the market. We'll talk about the swing ideas that I have lined up for the week. Finally, I feel like I have a good short watch list. So we'll talk about those. And if you find any benefit in today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. As always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss in this video is for educational purposes only. Free ebook, link for that is in the description. Link for it is in the description. If you have any questions, leave a comment or reach out by emailing customer service info@t3live.com. Okay, info@t3live.com. So here's the cues. Here's the cues, which represents basically the top 100 companies in the NASDAQ. And here's the SPY, and here's the IWM, and it's just really, really messy. It looked like after the gap down, we reclaimed the 20. It looked like we were going to go back up, and then only to get really sold hard on Friday. So this is like a frog in a blender pattern. It is patternless. Of course, you zoom out, the larger trend is up, and this is just a consolidation, but on a day-to-day basis, it's extremely sloppy. I would be surprised if we didn't get any follow through to this bar, meaning I would be surprised if we weren't lower initially, maybe tomorrow. But it's also, it's just so messy, so sloppy. It's very hard to objectively analyze it and give you the lines, the support lines, the resistance lines. It's just a mess. So my suggestion would be focus on things that are not as much as possible, not very market dependent. Again, as much as possible. But for now, I don't really have any kind of insight about the market direction. I just think it's incredibly sloppy. But I would also be surprised if we did not produce any follow through to the downside after Friday's bar. Meaning, I would think we would come in a little bit, maybe to retest the 20 on the SPY, maybe to retest 595 or so on the SPY. The Q is maybe at least to 516 is what I'm thinking, maybe even lower. So it's just such a messy chart that I don't even want to waste any more time on it. In terms of the swing ideas and long-term plays, I'm liking the AFRM. Played the AFRM twice. I don't know exactly where, here and maybe here. I don't really know for sure. And then I trailed out once it broke that pivot. I would like to get back in it, and it's doing a weekly buy setup. So would love to see it come back in and then higher. Why do I like it so much? It's because of that monthly chart. This is a beautiful monthly transition A that I think looks higher to 150, 160 without any resistance above. So I like it a lot. I would love to see it come in a little bit and then go back up. So I like it higher over 63.10. Stop honestly all the way down to 52 as a long-term play, not as a swing trade, but as a long-term trade, okay, on the firm. Butterfly is already an open position in the newsletter, looks higher still. It just needs to take out at least at a bare minimum Friday's high, 425 with a stop under 335. It's pretty nice and bullish. We took it long in the newsletter right about here. So, and we took half already. It reached target 1, and now it looks higher on the back half. So here's the weekly. Weekly is into the 200, and here's the monthly. Monthly has room to like $10, almost 8. That's the butterfly. BYON, surprisingly turning a little bit bullish. So like it higher over 854 with a tight stop under 8 and a target about $10 to $11 on the BYON. I'm not as serious about this, but it did turn bullish. AFRM, I am very serious about it. I just like a better setup. CRGX had a mega gap and got bought a little bit on the daily gap, got bought a little bit on Friday, and it has a base, so feel free to look at playing that base breakout on the CRGX. over the highs, stop under the lows. Target would be the 20 period moving average on the 60-minute chart, okay? DNA is also turning a little bit bullish, but I mainly like it on the weekly. That's a pretty weekly chart. So I like it higher all the way up here, but I don't think it's quite ready yet. It needs to base a little bit more on the daily. I think it needs to base a little bit more, but I'm watching it to play off the weekly. The DOCU is already in open position. It is doing a weekly buy setup if you want to play. It's not perfect. It did have a picture perfect transition A right here. So that's beautiful. And I think it goes back up, but it's going to depend on what the market does. IBM played it as an earnings play. I kept it, and it still looks higher. So it would need to take out at least 258.75 with a stop under 251.80. I know it's a big stop, but looks higher. The ROKU I like a lot on the weekly and the monthly. I can't wait for the ROKU to report earnings because it looks really good. It's that same pattern that I played on the DOCU that we talked about, same exact. And so that's what's going on with the ROKU. ROKU right now, if you're not in, I would wait for $87 to get taken out before getting in it. So over the highs basically. And then use a large stop initially, maybe $78 is what I would use. Again, as a large stop to begin with, because the pattern is not perfect yet, but it looks pretty good on the monthly chart. TDUP, I'm impressed with the relative strength on the stock the last couple weeks. Has a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly chart. It does need to take out about 245 with a stop under 204. Okay? So that's the entry and the stop on the TDUP. UTI is a 1, 2, 3 on the daily. It looks really good, but for a 1, 2, 3 pattern, you often need the market, and because it's a continuation. Notice how it tried to break down, got bought, tried to break down, got bought, tried to break down, only to turn into a big bottoming tail. So I really like it higher, but I would just be wary about putting my stop, using a very tight stop, and putting it under 27.11 in a market that's pretty sloppy, that has a lot of, that's doing a lot of back and forth. Otherwise, beautiful bullishness on the UTI. The bearish list, like I said, for the first time in a while, I'm actually looking forward to playing it, to playing short. Comcast, which we played short on earnings, the earnings season is off to a good start, has a 1, 2, 3. It's not a perfect 1, 2, 3, so it may need to wait another day or two before, we may need to wait another day or two before jumping in it. But if you think it's perfect, then under 33.30, but 34.01 short. Under this bar's low, stop above it, and then who knows what the target is. We'd have to look at the larger time frames. The target should be about $30 on the Comcast. DHR is similar pattern, had a bearish gap, and has, these are not narrow range bars, otherwise I would say short. Under, I mean, that's perfect. Short right here, and then with room to fall all the way down to the prior low. So I like it a lot, but these bars are pretty big, meaning the stop is not going to be it's not going to be all that tight. Under 221.30 by 229, so it's a big stop, but looks good. The Dow is like Comcast, but not as good. It's too strong, but it's a good watch, similar to the Comcast. A gap down and then an inside bar. I like the inside bar to form at the bottom, like you see here. But it's still a good watch on the Dow and the Comcast. So IRWD short under 223 by 254, 1, 2, 3. Like it. The only issue that I have with it is Thursday's bar was, I mean, abnormally big. For a 1, 2, 3 pattern, I want the igniting bar to be twice the average size bar. So maybe this size would be good, and that would have been a little bit big, but this is even bigger. So that's the only issue. So it would actually be better if it's based for another day or two and then lower. I really, really like it, but I'm hoping it goes sideways for another day or two. UPS is similar to the Comcast, similar to the other patterns I've shown you, but even better. So it has a very well-defined entry right here, stop above Friday's high. So this is a 1, 2, 3. And then the ZNTL, pretty nice on the daily, not as nice on the hourly. The longer it bases, the better. Same thing, gap down, and then it's trying to put in a base breakdown on the hourly. So under 165, stop over maybe 194, since the pattern isn't very clean, I would say. So yeah, about a 30-cent stop, and that's my list. It's not I don't have a very long list. That's my entire list actually for tomorrow. But I scan every day after the close and I find new setups. So from here, I really like the AFRM, but I don't think it's quite ready. I like the ROKU, same thing. I don't think it's quite ready. What else do I like? Love the UTI, but I'm gonna need to see what the market does tomorrow. From the bullish list. From the bearish list, I like a bunch of them, but I do like the IRWD and UPS are probably my favorite too. Comcast is a close third, but it needs to show me some more weakness or another inside day tomorrow. All right, that will do it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are having a good weekend so far. I'm Sami Absad with T3 Live. Good trading, everybody. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.